Hi folks, welcome to Thursday's Coffee and John, or Coffee with John. We're at this incredible passage that would just revolutionize everything if we got it right. We're at 1 John chapter 3, and we read yesterday verse 16. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us. We ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. But of course, most of us are not going to be in a position where we have to do that. So what's the practical implications of it? Well, John goes on to tell us this. So this is what we're looking at today, verse 17. If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? If anyone has material possessions, sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? The answer to the question is obviously the love of God can't be in that person. So let's think through some of the practical implications of that. I think it's saying to us not that we're there to be exploited by anybody, but we see someone in need, we provide for them, don't we? I mean, just in terms of your own family, if I saw my family in need, I would do what I could to provide for them. And I think that should be exactly the same with the Christian family. So let me just give you one illustration. When I was the minister of St. Peter's Church in Dundee, I remember a man coming. We used to get a lot of visitors, and I remember a man coming, wasn't a Christian, and after the service he came out and I said, how'd you get on with that? And he said, oh David, he said, that was just incredible, that was awesome. And of course me thinking, was it the sermon, what was it? And he said, no, it was the letter. And I said, what letter? And he said, wow, you didn't even do that to impress us. And then I was wondering what he was talking about, and then I remembered. So in the church, we'd had no children. Then we started getting young people coming, and then in the course of things, they started getting married, and then they started having babies. And one of the women in the congregation thought it'd be a really good idea if, knowing how difficult it is when you're starting off, particularly a young couple never had a child before, how to help in some practical way. So we started up, we arranged it, that we did a rota that when a family had a baby, a newborn baby, they would get 2 weeks meals provided by someone in the congregation, or different people that, there'd be different, not that the one person would do it all the time. Anyway, there was this couple who'd had 3 children, they just had their 4th, and people provided meals for 1 meal per day, 1 main meal per day for 2 weeks. And they sent a letter, and I just thought, I'll just read it out to the congregation because I can't find everyone who did it. And so I read it out. And what this man did was, he said to me, this is for real, isn't it? You people, he said, I've never been where people would do this. Now, I don't think it's only Christians who do this. Of course, there are other communities and groups. But we must at least do it. We talk about how we love one another, but we must provide for each other. If there are people who are poor, who struggle, and yes, of course, there's all kind of caveats you want to put in about how people can exploit and misuse and manipulate and so on. I accept all of that, but nonetheless, it's incumbent upon us to, if we have material possessions and we see our brothers and sisters in need, to provide for them. Now, there's maybe much, much more that we can reflect on that, but I think this whole passage is way more challenging than if you just read it at a superficial level and think, oh yeah, that's nice, love each other. This leads you asking, how can the love of God dwell in me if I'm so callous towards the needs of my brothers and sisters and so greedy for myself? Well, God bless you, and we shall see you again tomorrow. Bye.